A few news stories for you. Firstly, Sudanese channel has arrived in Ethiopia on two-day official visit. Very important visit, keeping in view Sudan-Ethiopia tensions, keeping in view Ethiopian government's allegations that Tigray fighters are being trained on Sudanese soil on Sudan-Ethiopia border. Second, viewers, an Oromo politician, newly released, leader of Oromo Federalist Congress, OFC, was interviewed by a news channel a few hours ago. His name is Dejene Tafa. We have been waiting to know the opinion, the views of these newly released Oromo leaders. We know that Skandinaga is busy. He is calling for continuation of this war. He's meeting Fano as well. But Jawar, Beklegarba, Hamza Burana and Dejene Tafa, they were largely silent except they issued a statement. Now we have an interview of an OFC leader. In the interview, he talked about Fano, he talked about OLA as well. The interview shows that newly released OFC leaders have soft corner for OLA. Now, lastly, viewers, an update from Tigray Amhara border. Wag Himora zone. Wag Himora zone administrator has talked about the presence of Tigray forces in Wag Himora. He says there is still presence of Tigray forces in two woredas of Wag Himora. What are the names of these two woredas? Where are they located? Firstly, viewers, Lieutenant General Hamdan Dagalo, also called Hemedti, Sudanese general, Vice Chairman of Sudan Sovereignty Council, has arrived in Ethiopia. Very important visit. Sudan-Ethiopia relations have been very strained since the start of Tigray conflict more than a year ago, because after the start of this war, Sudanese forces took advantage of the situation and they captured Fashaga, disputed territory between Ethiopia and Sudan on Sudan-Ethiopia border. Then we saw Ethiopian government accuse Sudan of backing TPLF. We have seen several statements. Ethiopian government says, our regional government says that Tigray fighters are being trained and armed on Sudanese soil, and from there they're trying to infiltrate into Amhara, into Ethiopia. So relations have been very strained. If you remember PM Abiy's inauguration ceremony held at the start of October, almost all heads of state of neighboring countries participated. From Kenya, there was Kenyatta. From Djibouti, there was Djibouti's president. And South Sudan, Salva Kiir was also there. But no top leader from Sudan participated in that ceremony. So Sudan offered to mediate between Tigray and Ethiopia too, but Ethiopian government had rejected that mediation offer. So relations have been very strained. Now, a top Sudanese general is in Ethiopia. Of course, one important point on the agenda would be Sudan-Ethiopia border, Al-Fashaga. Second would be Tigray, viewers. Ethiopian government, Amhara regional government, they are of the position that Tigray fighters are planning an attack on Humra Volkait from Sudan. So an important visit, viewers. Sudanese army is under pressure at home. And Sudanese army might give some concessions to Ethiopian government because it wants some sort of backing. At home, it's facing protests. Protesters want the Sudanese army to be out of politics. The Sudanese army is weak. This army general is visiting Ethiopia, and we could see some concessions from Sudanese army in this visit of Ethiopia? Let's see. We'll update you after the visit. Now, secondly, viewers, on the 7th of January, some top Oromo leaders were released by Ethiopian government. Skandar Naga was also released, head of Baldar's party. Since then, he has been meeting with Fano leaders, other players in Tigray conflict, and he's been calling for continuation of this war. He has released several statements as well. Oromo leaders issued just one statement, Jawar and Bekele Garba. Now we have an interview of a top Oromo leader released on the 7th of January. His name is Dejene Tafa OFC. He's deputy head of Oromo Federalist Congress, OFC. He was interviewed by FIB channel. In the interview, he talked about several important points. Firstly, he says, Oromo Federalist Congress, OFC, party of Jawar, Bekele Garba, Gudena, the party does not recognize this government, Ethiopian government, PM Abiy's government, as a legitimate government. Very important point, viewers. Secondly, he says, this government needs medicine. It's sick. It's in need of treatment. And thirdly, he says that if you want to start political dialogue, national dialogue, all those groups which you label as terrorists, you must remove that label, and these groups must be part of the national dialogue. Of course, he's talking about Oromo Liberation Army and Tigray Peopleation Fund. So, Oromo Federalist Congress wants the two groups, the two parties. One is a party, TPLF, other is a group, OLA, that both should be part of negotiations, national dialogue. Then, next point, he said, all political prisoners must be released, including OLF leaders like Daud Ibsa, Gamachoyana, and others. He talked about OLA as well, viewers. He called upon Oromia regional government that it should not send its forces to the forests to fight people of Oromia. Very important point, viewers. And he said that if Amhara region does not want to disarm Fano, it's their own matter. But we should be united. He said Oromo should be united. And Amhara region should not send its force to fight Oromos in forests. He's talking about OLA. So, in this statement, in this interview, OFC is showing very soft corner for OLA. It wants Oromo unity. It is criticizing, in a way, indirectly, that Amhara region is not disarming Fano. Viewers, if Fano is not disarmed, OLA will be strengthened in Oromia. Quaros will be strengthened. They are nowhere to be seen now, but if Fano is not disarmed, if Fano spreads its influence in Amhara, we could see resurgence of Quaros and expansion of activities of Oromo Liberation Army. So Dejene Tafa OFC leader says that Ethiopian government is not a legitimate government. OLA, TPLF must be part of negotiations, and Oromia regional government must not fight OLA. Lastly, viewers, Wag Himora zone administrator has talked about the presence of Tigray fighters in Wag Himora zone. Wag Himora zone is in Amhara region. It's on Tigray-Amhara border. Wag Himora zone administrator Tesfaye Gabre says there is still presence of Tigray forces in two woredas of Wag Himora zone. Where are these two woredas? Have a look at this map. You can see Tigray-Amhara border. Abergale can be seen. Secondly, to the south of Abergale, you can see Zakuala. these two were the places where there is presence of Tigray Defense Force. According to Tesfaye Gabre, that Tigray forces have not withdrawn from Abergale and from Zikwala. Are they in control of entire Abergale? We don't know. But this statement, since it's coming from Amhara region's official, that is why it's an official position of Amhara region that Tigray forces have not withdrawn from these two places. What about Sikota? Sikota is under Amhara region's control. So TDF is in North Gondar as well, near Adiyarke, and TDF is in Wag Himora as well. It has not completely withdrawn from Amhara region. Thanks for watching.